As I said earlier, Afghanistan need a lot. It has not gone well for them today, but cricket is a developing thing in their country. It's holding the country together. There are a lot of challenges, of course, in Afghanistan, and here's a story of one lady who's doing remarkable things to help.
It's one of cricket's greatest fairy tales. From relative obscurity to a newfound love for the game, Afghanistan's rise has been simply remarkable. The last 10 years have seen the national side play in 4 ICC World 2020s and feature in an ICC Cricket World Cup as well.
He's picked him up leg side. Those are the winning runs. Shapoor is the hero for Afghanistan.
Many of their stars have now become household names across the cricketing world. But while there's a huge upswing as far as international cricket is concerned, the reality on the ground in Afghanistan is still a cause for concern. The region is still marred by political instability and conflict, and many youngsters here don't have access to basic education. But in the midst of all the adversity, there is a ray of hope. Following her travels to Afghanistan as a doctor during the Soviet regime, Sarah Fane set up Afghan Connection, a charity which aims to bring people together through education and sport.
Afghanistan's now had some sort of conflict in the country for some 40 years, and I feel that education and sport are tremendous ways to create social change in the country. Particularly education for girls is transforming things in Afghanistan. So we educate boys and girls, but we're very keen to help the girls. Also, the sport is a magnificent thing. The slogan for all our cricket projects is "Put down your guns and pick up your bats." There are children all over Afghanistan who long to play cricket. They're inspired by the national team. The national team brings everybody out on the streets together. Cricket crosses all ethnic divides, and we get children together from all different ethnic groups playing cricket. Also, the spirit of cricket and the way it's played provides wonderful team spirit and really helps us to create social change in Afghanistan.
Whether it's building pitches, schools, supplying equipment, or providing coaching to the next generation, the positives are aplenty. Since 2008, close to 100 pitches have been built in the country, and over 100 schools now benefit from clothing and kit as well.
When we get a picture or I visit a new school, it's the most wonderful feeling in the world to see that children have come off the dusty ground and they're in beautiful classrooms. Or when I visit a cricket pitch and see the absolute joy on the faces of the children, it's really inspirational and it makes every moment of our work worthwhile.
Sarah Fane and Afghan Connection are not batting alone for this noble cause. The MCC is a key partner, and through these collective efforts, cricket development in Afghanistan is only going from strength to strength.
Our involvement has encouraged other private donors to come in alongside the MCC and actually massively increase the support that Afghan Connection has got. So one of our aims here at the MCC is to get involved and create sustainability in projects around the world. It was extraordinary in one of my visits to Afghanistan seeing that actually just a pair of shoes to an Afghan child can be a life-changing thing. So through encouraging sport and enabling equipment and games and structure and team and leadership and values, all those things sit alongside education. I think together they make a pretty compelling partnership.
Cricket has not only united many in Afghanistan, but it's also played a huge role in giving youngsters a new lease of life. The shock and horror of war is slowly being replaced by the sweet sound of willow and leather. And as far as a road ahead is concerned, the MCC and Afghan Connection are gearing up for a long stay at the crease.
To see the difference that sport can make and to see the heroic status that the young men and women who play cricket for Afghanistan have achieved and the influence and impact they're having throughout the country and on young children, young boys and girls, makes everything we've done out there worthwhile.
I'm passionate about Afghanistan. I have got to know so many of its people. When I travel there, I see the people I've known over the years, and what I most want is for them to know what it's like to live in a peaceful and prosperous country. I know I can't do this on my own, but I just want to see the regions we're working in. I want to see every child going to school, and I want our model to be copied all over Afghanistan. And I want every child to have the opportunity to play sport.
Well, I'm delighted to say that Dr. Sarah Fane joins myself and Michael Afton, who's actually a patron of that charity. Welcome along. You're doing some fantastic work over there. Give us the bigger picture, though, with cricket in Afghanistan and what it's doing for the country.
So when I was in Afghanistan in 2001, I didn't really see any cricket at all. And now cricket is all over the country in 32 out of 34 provinces. And it's given the Afghan people the most wonderful reason to have hope, to celebrate, to come together with joy. It's been an amazing thing.
What was there before then? Despair?
There was a lot of despair in 2001 when I first went. They'd had 23 years of war. There was no infrastructure. People had little to hope for.
Yeah. How did you get involved then? I mean, what did you see that suddenly the light switch went out and you thought, right, I've got to do something here, I want to help?
I was a doctor out in Afghanistan in the 80s and in 2001. And it was my journey across the country at that time in 2001, seeing a country devastated by war. And then meeting the people and their incredible resilience and their longing for a better future that just made me want to do something, however small.
They've had a bad day at the office so far, so what will the...
Still got the scarf, and still wearing the colours, you've not given up.
What will they be thinking back in Afghanistan?
Never underestimate Afghanistan. It's a tough total today, but it's not 400.
In the grand scheme of things, days like this are irrelevant, I think. I mean, you know, they've lost 4 games in this World Cup. I still think that's irrelevant. The rise of Afghanistan has been the greatest story in cricket in the last decade. I mean, it's incredible when you think where they've come from, with no infrastructure, no facilities, nothing in the space of a dozen years to get to where they are. It's incredible, really.
It is. You know, we took out bats and balls to the National Academy in 2008 in Kabul, and it was a dust field. And then they went on to Jersey, and they just kept on winning. You know, we've got to remember that. It's the most remarkable story.
You've helped nearly 300,000 children here. This is a massive project.
Yeah, well, we're very
still growing?
And still growing, yes, and determined to keep going.
What are the challenges you're facing?
The biggest challenges really are the security, the Taliban taking over some areas where we're working, and just the sheer size of things. But when you give a little bit in Afghanistan, the kids there lap it up and they really make the most of everything you support them with.
It's not just boys, it's girls too. We should make that point absolutely clear. Is you setting up coaching clinics?
The girls, it's much more difficult to support. We have done some girls' cricket, but we're very, very sensitive. We get parental consent, we do it behind walls. But we're hoping that will change in the future, as everything changes. We know from English cricket it takes time.
Yeah.
What kind of numbers do you get when you put a camp on? How many people turn up?
Well, we put on a camp. We normally do a camp for about 50 kids, but the Afghan cricket team have been very good at helping us with coaching. Sometimes we get 12,000 turning up just to watch.
And funding? Are you well funded? How can people help if they want to get involved?
Funding is always difficult.
Well, how can they help?
The MCC have been marvellous. If you go to the Afghan Connection website and you'd like to donate, we'd be so thrilled.
Who are you supporting? Who are you supporting, by the way?
My heart is torn in two today, and I hope that neither team loses.
You're doing some fantastic work. Brilliant stuff. Many congratulations, and we hope you move forward and help more kids.
Thank
Terrific.
you.
Doctor, thank you very much indeed. Afghanistan are going to need some help here at Old Trafford because they're chasing plenty.